How you guys doing today? How you guys doing? Um, I want to talk to you guys real quick about. I want to talk about um, parents encouraging their kids to read. It's very imperative for parents to encourage their children to read because when you read, it gives you a more in-depth understanding of things. And I was reading about covalent bonds, and covalent bonds is dealing with um, when an atom shares its electrons. That's what covalent bonding deals with. And that's what I was reading. And it's very, very interesting. Um, when you read, it just opens you up to new things. And my father, even when I used to live with him, he was always encouraging me and my brother to read. He always had us reading something. Um, it's very imperative for parents to do this because you want to teach your kids things. You want your kids to learn. And back in slavery, they didn't want us to read. They wanted to keep knowledge away from us. And my dad was always saying, when we were kids, he always made us get off that game. And I see, a lot of times mothers don't really enforce the rules, like they should. But if I was a parent, one thing I would do when it come to my children, I would definitely make them read something. Because sitting around rapping all day and playing these video games, it's not going to teach you anything. It's not going to really give you insight on different things. From time to time, I'll find myself just reading about some historical stuff, or I'll find myself reading about, some Albert Einstein theory, you know, gravitational theory, you know. It makes you feel good when you learn something new, something that you didn't know previously. And Albert Einstein had a quote where he said that when you stop learning, you start dying. And that's deep. I truly believe that. And I guarantee if you ask the average person about what I was reading today, they probably wouldn't know what covalent bonds was. You know, I didn't know what covalent bonds were until I read what I read today. And it feels good reading and opening your mind to different perspective and new information. And I see why my dad was always encouraging me and my brother to read something, because it opens up your mind. It gives you insight, you know. The older you get, you're going to be smarter anyway, because life is going to teach you certain things. And that's what I had to realize. Like, no one has to tell you certain things, because the older you get as you grow into adulthood, no one has to tell you what you need to be doing, because life is going to tell you what you need to be doing. There are certain things that you're just going to learn just from living, just from being in this world, and it felt good reading something today and learning something new. It really felt good. It feels good to read and to learn new things, open up your mind to some new information, Covalent bonds, I'm going to read more on covalent bonds. It's deep stuff, deep scientific stuff. Einstein was a brilliant man. Hans Bethe was a brilliant man. And I feel when you start reading, you discipline yourself, because most people like audiobooks, because most people don't have the discipline to just sit there and read some literature or to read some information. But it's good to actually read, because I feel like you're making yourself disciplined when you do that, and you're putting pressure on your mind to think and to do your best to internalize what you're reading, so you can get a clear understanding. Um, I know if my father, like I stated about my dad, how he had me and my brother reading, I know that if I would have been raised with my dad, I know he would have had me reading all the time, because my father, he's an avid reader. You know, he's read a lot of books, and I just see the importance of just reading some stuff from time to time. You know, you'll definitely unlock some information that you didn't know, and it feels good to learn things that you didn't know. You know, to find out about something that you previously didn't even know about. It feels good. Um, I like. I'm starting to make myself read more, just so I can be, more intuitive, and just so I can be smart. Because I believe reading can also enhance your IQ. I know I've stated in videos about how some people were just born with a high IQ, and life is all about the luck of the draw. But I do believe when you start reading and you start exercising your mind in ways that you haven't exercised it before, it can definitely shoot your IQ up a couple of notches. Because I had to learn that it's better to know things than to believe. See, I was raised going to church, going to Creflo Dollar. When you start reading, you'll know things. You don't have to speculate and believe. Like when I was a kid, my grandmother used to tell me, "Ooh, you hear those noises in the back room? That's Satan and his demons." But when you read and you get and you get a deeper insight on things, you know that it's not Satan and his demons. You know, and that's what I had to learn. It's better to know things than to just sit around believing. And when you start reading, you'll start to know things. And I see why my father always stressed reading. And starting off reading, you don't have to read yourself to death, but just start out just reading a little something a day. Just read a little bit of something a day. You don't have to do no strenuous bookworm studying, but just start out, just reading a little something a day. That's what I'm doing. Reading just a little something a day. And over time, you will have found out and unlocked some knowledge that you previously did not know. And that's why I'm challenging myself to just read a little bit here and there. And I encourage other people to try to do the same as well. But yeah, I was just thinking to myself, felt this would be a good topic to talk about on this nice Tuesday evening. It's good to read and, unlock certain things in your mind that was not unlocked before. But because when you start reading about science, when you start reading about ionic bonds, that stuff is deep. And that's why I say I'm going to read more. I'm going to definitely read more about these scientific things. But you guys let me know what you think about reading and, just learning different things, Because I never knew that covalent bonding was dealing with the shared process with atoms. Yes, it's dealing with the shared process, dealing with the atoms. And when the atoms share their electrons, that's some deep stuff, That's the stuff that, kids in Asia and kids in these foreign countries and other ethnicities are learning about. And it just feels good to dabble in a realm that you haven't dabbled in before. But this was a nice little topic that I just wanted to talk about on this beautiful day. They say it's gonna thunder later on, but I'll be talking to you guys some more later on. You guys have a great Tuesday. Peace out.